Hey y'all, it's Natalie here today for a cherry on top, and I am using the summer cherry box. I have printed these 2x2 photos of me and my friends and family out on the lake, and I'm going to use this summer 2024 cherry box to scrapbook them. So a big portion of this is the Spectrum Sherbet collection by 49th and Market, which is stunning. I hoard it, so it's nice to have more of it. There is this gorgeous washi. I'm looking at it to remind myself like what's inside, and I'm actually not going to use that today, but I'm looking through all the papers to decide what I would like to use as my background. And I really love the solids, but I also know that I want to use the watercolors that come in the cherry box. So I go with this paper that has the beautiful blues at the top and bottom, and they kind of go with the water. And I'm going to first play with the watercolors. So I have never used these before, and so I'm going to pull them out and see how pigmented they were and exactly what the colors looked like. And I'm really glad I did because they are so gorgeous. These are Vicky Bouton watercolors, and they are super pigmented, like a lot. And you'll see what I mean later on. But they also have some shimmer in them, very shimmery. Some of the shimmer is silver and some of it is gold. I am very impressed with how bright and bold and pigmented they are. Of course, if you add more water, it will be less pigmented, but you would have to add a lot of water to really make these a pastel type of color. So I'm just doodling around on this watercolor paper to just see the shades that I can get, and even I'll start mixing a few colors to see if I can change and make any other colors. But yeah, I highly recommend these watercolors. They are super fun, and the colors are super bright and fun for summer as well. Very bright and summery. So we'll just watch that a little bit more. And sorry if you hear background noise. It sounds like there's frogs outside. I'm sitting inside, but I can hear frogs. Trying to make like a little bit of an orange color there. The gold is super beautiful. It would make a really lovely gold splatter. So there it is, a little bit dry. I made a purple there. That was really nice. I'm going to do a little bit of a messy grid. You know, I don't do straight lines and like really order very well, but so when I do a grid, it's always going to be like a wonky grid. But first, I'm going to add clear gesso. And you can see I was using my Dina Wakley, or I think the Ranger, I don't remember site. Clear gesso, yeah, it's Dina Wakley, I think. And I'm pretty much put it all over the page because I feel like I'm gonna fill up my grid all over the page because I do have 6 photos. So the idea is that I'm going to place the photos, and then I'm going to kind of make some doodly watercolor type squares to kind of create my grid, and some rectangles as well. So I'm just making sure that I get the photos where I want them, and I don't want anything particularly straight lined up with another photo. So that's kind of the wonkiness that I was alluding to earlier. And now I'm just going to draw a very simple light penciled square behind each photo, and that way it won't show when I'm trying to like do my watercolor or anything, but my photo will cover it up later, but that way I know kind of where else I should be putting squares, because my photo is going to go over the drawn squares. So I added water first, and then I'm going in and adding the watercolor to let it kind of balloon out in the water. Then I'm just making sure that the edges are rough. I don't want any like straight edges like I was saying earlier. So I'm trying to make it a little bit organic, a little movement in there. And you can see that is so vibrant, right? Never fear. I know it's okay. So it's going to start to look like a little bit of a hot mess. And Missy Wooden always says like it's going to look like a hot mess a lot of times first, and then it's going to look better. And that is definitely how this layout goes. I had something stuck in my paint there, so I was trying to get it up. But you see, I'm making kind of abstract squares and rectangles. Just little swatches of color here, and trying to, you know, kind of space them out amongst, so not the same colors not touching the same area. And then I start to look at what I've done and I'm like, it's a lot. Like it's real bright. So I make a decision and I go and I get my water bottle and I spray it. It's still pretty wet, but some is like not entirely wet. And then I roll it. I use the whole roll of paper towels and I roll it up. And that really lessens the vibrancy of the color. Now, if you want vibrant, then that's not good. But for my purposes, I actually prefer this lighter color palette to match the rest of the collection and what else I'm working with these photos. Sometimes I do want the vibrancy. And so I like that you can see two different ways of using these watercolors. But I love that shimmer and sparkle and shine when you turn it into the light. So it's mostly dry. So now I'm going to go through with a smaller paintbrush and do some itty bitty little splatters, color on color. And then I'm not going to roll those up. And so the splatters will be a little brighter, a little more vibrant. And it really gives a lot of nice depth to the background of the page. So while that dries, because again, I'm not rolling it up, I'm going to pull out these layering pieces that come with the cherry box, and they are from the Spectrum Sherbet collection as well. And I'm going to use them to back my photos. And I'm kind of going to use the colors that I used in the paints. And I'm picking out the bigger pieces to use because I feel like I will more easily be able to layer those smaller pieces behind my photos. But for these larger pieces, I'm not really sure of another use of them. I mean, I could definitely do like a mini album with them, but they are perfect for what I need them for right now, which is backing. And I just cut them with my scissors because I'm going to rough up the edges and I don't want them to be perfect, so I didn't use my like paper trimmer. So the splatters have dried. You can see how shiny it is, right? So beautiful. So now I am going back through and roughing up the edges of my backed photos, and then I'm laying them right on top of the squares that I drew earlier. So they're nice and spaced out and I can decide what to do next. So I went off screen and I did add some sewn lines. So you can kind of see, and again, very wonky as that is my style. So now I'm going through and I'm trimming up some of the little tails, but I am going to leave a little bit of each tail on either end because I like that look. And then I think about going ahead and sticking that on my photos. And then I'm like, no, I don't want to do that yet because I want to use the rub-ons that come in the collection. You can kind of see them over there on the left. They're the Spectrum Sherbet palette rub-on transfers. But I know that some of them I think I want them to maybe stick under the photos or something. Not so much, not a lot. But that's why I didn't want to go ahead and stick the photos down yet. So I'm going to take these rub-ons and I'm going to color block them, which means I'm going to put them onto the color to which they correspond. So I'm going to put the lime greens on the lime green swatches of color, the pinks on the pinks, so on and so forth. I love these. I already had a set of these and I use them quite often and they go such a long way, and I just love them. I can never get enough of them. The cherry box is worth it just for these. I just want to let you know. But that's what I'm kind of going around doing, and I won't make you watch me do all of it, but I just kind of pick and choose which little palette pieces that I want, and then I go in and I cut them out, try to keep it all intact otherwise, just for storage sake. And then I rub them on, and that one gave me a little trouble. I had a couple that gave me a trouble, and I don't know if it's like, I think it's probably an area where there was a lot of gesso or maybe an uneven texture of gesso and they didn't want to stick, but they always stick really well. And so just a little extra pressure and I got them to stick lovely. And then if you leave a little bit on the wrapper, you can put it back down. I like to put it back down a little wonky so it gives it an even more little distressed nature. And I'm really having fun playing with these rub-ons. Again, rub-ons from 49 Market or really anywhere are one of my favorite products. I love to add these to my backgrounds and I think that they really add something. So now I feel like the background has really come together with the splatter and the rub-ons and the sewing. I'm really happy with how it's looking. I love the way it dried and how it is so shimmery and sparkly. So now I'm going to add my foam cherry tape dots to the back of all the little square photos and pop them up a little bit. and place them over the squares. And I am on the blog today over at A Cherry on Top, so I'll link that down below, so please go check it out. And I'll also put an affiliate link down below if you would like to subscribe to the Cherry Box. I'm not sure if there were any summer Cherry Boxes left over, but if there are, I will link down below. They might not have put them on yet. I think they want to make sure everyone receives their subscription box before, if they have any extras, they keep those. So now I'm going through the Vicki Boutin stickers that came in the kit, and I'm kind of color blocking with those as well, letting them stick out from under the photos a little bit. I'm using some of the words that come in the sticker sheet, and then I always turn to my stash because I wanted a little bit of a bigger title. And so this is from the Happy Heart collection by Pink Fresh Studio, and I chose it just because the colors matched really well. So I'm gonna mix these two die cuts, and it's gonna say Happy Today. It was like the first day that we'd all been out of the boat, and it'd been really hot enough to get in the water, and we just had a really good time. We went to a different cove. We got a little mud on the toes, but we're gonna find the best spot for it. But this Just Beachy sticker sheet is from Simple Stories, and then I also pulled out the Have a Nice Day sticker sheet from Echo Park, and they both have some colors that work with this collection. I liked that little camera because the girls have a digital camera, which they think is so cool, and it's just super funny to me because, of course, we carried digital cameras around like when we were like late teens and in college and things like that, and it's just come full circle, and it's super funny. So I'm just tucking a few stickers around under the other photos and embellishing, and then we're gonna call it a layout. I think I'm almost done here, so please let me know if you have any questions. I'll put my affiliate links down below. I'll link to the A Cherry on Top blog. Go check that out. And yeah, subscribe to your Cherry Box because you always get a super huge amount of product, and it's $50 and it's quarterly. There's 4 a year, thematic, like for the season. And it's always a good value, and it's always so beautiful. And I'm super pleased with what I was able to make with this one. And I still have so many products left to make so much more. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. Bye, y'all.